Okay, now back to topic. What is our soul? We will start by looking at the Greek word for soul in the New Testament, like we often do, starting with the Greek. What does it mean when Scripture references the soul? The Greek word used most often in the New Testament for soul is psyche. And you might recognize it when you see it, P-S-U-C-H-E, that is the root of our English word like psychology and psyche. The word psyche or soul points to our inner life, our thoughts, our emotions, our motivations, our wants, our desires. In John 12, Jesus says, my soul is troubled. And he is expressing inner turmoil. The psyche is the part of us that experiences joy and sorrow and turmoil and everything in between. It's the place also where our relationship with God is lived out most personally and most deeply. In Psalms 42, we see this captured. Why are you cast down, O my soul? Why are you with turmoil within me? The soul, the psyche, wrestles with these questions of hope, confidence, trust. What's one's meaning and purpose and connection with God? Understanding psyche also involves recognizing how the soul interacts with our body and spirit. The Bible often distinguishes between these three aspects of humanity: body, soul, and spirit. For example, in 1 Thessalonians 5, Paul encourages us to take care of these three things: our body, spirit, soul, in preparation for Jesus. This soul seems to serve like a bridge between our physical body and our spiritual spirit. It's where our earthly experiences and our eternal identity meet. This is why caring for your soul is so vital. It's where the battle for your thoughts, faith, your emotions take place. Let's not forget that the biblical perspective on the soul is that it is eternally valuable. As we saw in Matthew 16, Jesus emphasized that gaining the whole world would be meaningless if it costs your soul. It's eternal. It's created to be in relationship with God. This truth helps us prioritize what really matters. Material wealth, status, and worldly accomplishments, they're nothing. They're fleeting. But the state of your soul and your relationship with Christ has eternal significance. So, we know now the soul is so precious and valuable. Well, how do we care for it? How do we nurture it? There's three biblical principles that help us align our psyche, our soul, with God's purposes. The first one is resting in God. In Matthew 11:29, Jesus invites us and says, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Resting in Jesus means surrendering our burdens and trusting him fully and finding peace in his presence. I mentioned earlier the women's connection cohorts that will be forming soon. This is something we're going to go through together. How do we truly rest in God? And what daily practices can we do to ensure that we are giving our burdens over to him fully? If that's something you'd like to deep digger into, then make sure you're on the email notification list found at SherryElaine.com. The second practice for taking care and nurturing our souls is the practice of intentionally renewing your mind. Romans 12:2 teaches us to be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Our psyche is deeply impacted by the thoughts that we dwell on. Meditating on scripture and focusing on God's truth reshapes our inner life when we do so with intentionality. In the prayer journal that's just now come out, there's a space for you to weekly write your thoughts and concerns and start the process of renewing them with God's truths. Again, this will be one of the topics and practices that we will also go into deeper when the connection cohorts start later this year. Then the third practice is guarding your heart. Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart. Guard your heart, because everything you do flows from it. Protecting your soul involves being mindful of what you're being influenced by, your relationships, media, your daily habits. What are you allowing to be poured into your soul? Because it's from that place where what you do flows to others. Again, these are deep topics, and you'll have opportunity to learn and grow in a small online connection group soon, later this year. In closing thoughts, let's turn our eyes to Jesus, who is called the shepherd and the overseer of your souls. That's in 1 Peter 2:25. That verse reminds us of his ongoing attention and care for us, for our inner lives. He cares about it. He laid down his life to redeem us, specifically to redeem our souls. This demonstrates the immense value he places on our souls. As we grow closer to his spirit, our soul finds true rest and purpose. As we reflect on this word soul, or the Greek word psyche, let's remember its depth and significance. Your soul is not just a part of you. It is you. It's the essence of who you are. It's the center of your relationship with God, and it's the place where eternal truths grow and transform you. In a world that often focuses on everything external, Scripture calls us to tend to our souls with care and intentionality. Thank you for joining in today. If this post or this episode has blessed you, I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to share your thoughts or questions. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast or to the email notification list so you don't miss the next topic. Until then, may your soul find rest and delight in the presence of Jesus.